Dispatch. This is Tim Fielder chiming in. It's a little bit, it's been a while since I last streamed. Well, because I was in San Diego. I don't know if there's any echo. If you guys hear any echo, let me know. But right now, that's basically what's been going down. And I've had some fun here doing my thing. Hold on one second. I'm just letting everybody know that starting late. I felt like, well, should I wait um, to should I wait to should I wait to start streaming or should I keep going? I figured, well, let's keep going. Let's keep going. And my setup here is just as comical as it always was. But I'm back. San Diego was really, really great. Pretty intense experience for anyone who doesn't know much or know, a whole lot about San Diego. It is always an experience that is fraught with um, both. Hello, real estate Bonnier. Oh, you. That's right. Didn't it? I'm going to. I'm sorry. I'm butchering your name. I'm glad you saw me at at Comic Con. I was about to say real estate con, but yeah, I was. I'm trying to see who in the world I'm looking at there. That's so weird. Oh, Ebony. Hey, how you doing? You've been getting around. You better slow down. You're gonna be like me. You don't want to end up in the hospital with that. Anyway, let me know if you guys can hear me okay. If you can, great. If not, I'll make whatever adjustment. But I think it's our first time meeting. Pleasure. There was a lot of really pretty, expansive scholars. That's the one thing about Afrofuturism. The feel is that unlike many fields might be, oh, great, fantastic. Um, they might have like a cultural base that's just based on entertainment. But entertainment can change. But one of the things about Afrofuturism is has a very, very solid scholarly and academic base. As a result of that, you always have someone writing papers on you, or asking you about what you do. In my case, because I'll be 59 in less than a month. And so I'm like, Ebony, I don't know if you agree with this. I'm like one of those dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. I'm still alive, so I'm like a living fossil. Um, and so that's one of the things that I find that's very useful. It was good taking a break from the daily streaming. Uh, Although I enjoy the daily streaming. I think it's something that is quite fun to do. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to Safari right quick. Okay, that's not working as well as I would like, but that's okay. I'll just go click here. Let's go to our desktop here. So here is the Dieselfunk dispatch link on the Dieselfunk page, dieselfunk.com. Remember, I'm Tim Fielder, visual Afrofuturist and graphic novelist. I can be found on line most of the time. I try to stream 5 days weekly, occasionally a 6 day. Last week I was at San Diego Comic Con. I was on two panels. I was on the Afrofuturism and STEM, put together by my good brother on the seat Gifted. Of course, I was completely disorganized, and all of the women on the panel saved my butt. Literally, I started having issues right at the last moment, and the train was running late. The train was running late all the time. Screen is black, no content. Why is that? Why is that like that? Okay, hang on. I got it. You know what? It would probably be helpful if I turned maybe just for kicks. What do you think? If I like turn the stuff on, that might be fun, right? Just maybe. So anyway, let me turn this chat over. I don't know what I'm doing here. But anyway, so that's one of the things that's happening. And eventually, I'm going to switch over here as time kind of comes along. I'm going to try my best because one of the things that happened is that my settings got so crazy because I had my laptop and I was hauling around all the time, and that's one of the things I was doing. Now, if when I begin to switch back, because I'm gonna start drawing in another minute or two, um, uh, I will make sure that I try to get my settings. Apologies for the folks on Instagram, and again, the the how should I say the uh, man, I've been trying to keep myself from saying so much. It's so weird when you're getting used to. I can talk in front of a thousand people, no problem, no ums. But here, all of a sudden, I'm getting tongue tied with ums. Anyway, um, there we go again. It's important to me that I be consistent in my streaming, but the vlogging, it appears that people enjoy the vlogging. They got feedback on Instagram, got feedback on Facebook. YouTube, not so much, but that's okay. I don't mind that. It was important to me that I kept doing the portraiture stuff that I did. You know, the 1 minute portraits. I love that. The speed painting. That I love that part. I love the streaming because the stream is immediate. The streaming is immediate, and also I think the vlog is a reasonable amount of content as well. I just want to say to you guys, particularly for the people who are looking at it, you might think, well, why is he producing so much content? I'm producing so much content because right now it is important to me that if I want my work to be successful, I have to produce as much as I can daily content consistently over a long period of time. And to do that means that I have to have somewhat workable schedule. I'm the most disorganized black man on the planet, just in case anybody had any confusion. So y'all will have to give me a little latitude on when I go live. Like today was like the last 2 hours of trying to fix technical stuff, cameras falling over. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to get to some drawing now. Now, all right, let's see here. We're going to go here to Clip Studio Paint. And here we're going to go to our desktop, which I'm sure is going to be our thingy here. Let me just try to see if I can switch this out here. I'm going to go here. Hang on 1 second, guys. I'm going to go to our desktop. Hold on. Hang on 1 second, guys. Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. Hang on. Turn it off, turn it on and off. There we go. We'll go right there. All right, so I'm going to hit copy, and then we're going to go back here. We're going to hit paste. There we go. All right. Now, you guys might be asking again, well, what software am I using? I'm going to use a software called Mail Studio, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a dramatically easier variant to use of it's like OBS. In fact, they can use some of the same modules as OBS. Uh, and OBS is a great piece of software. It really, really is amazing. But it's like trying to drive a truck. It can get really, really tedious. And by that, it can show a lot to go on. But I think you guys should be able to see it and see me talking here. So that's a good thing. All right. Now, back to this. We're going to now shift back to Clip Studio Paint. And right now, I want to do two things. I will do a little black prints work, graphic novel I'm working with the endowed chair there, Stephen Berry, good man, and Leo McGovern will be handling our lettering. I can letter, and for those folks who might ask, well, what in the world is lettering? Lettering is how would I describe it? Lettering is the dialogue, all of the narration and things like that. It's something that I can do, but I don't thirst to do it. As I once told Joe Illich, back when it was a possibility, I was going to be doing an adaptation of Samuel R. Delaney's Nova. He said, "What is a letter?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm not a letterer." I just had to be honest. I could do it, but don't be holding your breath that you're going to be seeing something that's clear and cogent and you know I can do it, but it's not my thing. It's not my thing. My THANG. It's not my thing. So again, this is where I am with Black Prince. I showed everyone how I did that, but there's a sequence now where the head character here is kind of running off with this horse. I show people how I utilize the horses from before. And there are these pages here. These are the pages that I utilize. And again, I deploy a little bit of AI, a little bit of, you know, kind of there's straight drawing, and there's using that drawing to create the image prompt, getting the kind of look I want, then going in and doing paint over illustration, similar to what I do in the video game industry. And that's a technique that has worked quite nicely for me. So why have I decided to show how the omelet is made? I chose to show how the omelet is made because I do not believe that we exist anymore in a world, an environment where one can easily just go, hey, um, uh, you have to promote your work. You cannot depend on the company to promote for you. It doesn't work that way anymore. You have to show what you're doing and how you're doing. It's an important component to be able to showcase that. That also means, frankly, that it is hugely important as well. And by the way, the stuff that you guys are seeing on my desktop, that is from my Cintiq, my 32-inch Cintiq. You're like, man, why so big as a screen? Well, when you get to be my age and eyesight, the bigger the screen, the easier it is for you to see what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this page here. This is where the main character is at a kind of a waterfall, what a pond situation like that. You see here, that's the kind of thin breakdowns here. And let me turn these off here just a little bit. So we have this sequence here. He's running away. The horse is moving. The reason why this color changed is because it was important for me to show the passage of time. Showing the passage of time is a very, very important thing to be able to do. Let's see here. We're also going to go here. Let me move back just a little bit. There may be one other page. This one, I mean, a lot of these things I have to do, not a lot, but enough of them I have to do just to show some things here. Let's go here. Okay, we're going good. And eventually I'm going to go through this to do some edits. I'm going to start getting rid of certain folders. And some of these things are pretty good. So there's the breakdowns. We want to go to our story. White Prince. There we go. Okay, great. So what you're looking at now is the story module of Black Prince in Clip Studio Paint. It's a very powerful tool to be able to show and to demonstrate. For those folks who are on Instagram, I'll just zoom into this here. So you have here the ability to be able to show your images, right? And for this, let me just zoom in here. Let me just turn this one on here. See that lettering? This is literally screen grabs from the script, right? Um, um, Stephen Berry is the author of this. But the reason why I did kind of like basic screen grabs from the script, similar to what I did on the comic I worked on last week, I'll be working on the comic again, weekly until the story is done. But let's take this page here and I'll zoom in here. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. Let me just check on Instagram to make sure everything's even up. Okay, looks like it might be all right. Yeah, you guys should be able to see what's rock and roll. Yeah, you can see. Okay, great. So here, instead of me having to generate direct, I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. In order for me to have to generate direct lettering myself, I think it is more honest and more reasonable to just simply take what the author has written and lay the lettering down there. This gives Leo, who's the letterer that we've brought on board to do this, he knows where the placements are. He knows where the placements are. So, say for example, this sequence here. Let me just see if I can take my space bar here. What is going on there? Okay, sorry about that. Um, um, what's happening is that it's about how you're controlling the eye with your lettering. So I'm going to just do a very quick thingy here. I'm talking. I'm realizing on my main screen here, you guys probably are not seeing me talk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. And let's see if I can do one thing here. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to take the straight ahead camera. Not the FaceTime camera. I'm going to go with the Dieselfunk camera. Let me just see if I can grab that. Oh, I have so many settings on this thing. It's ridiculous. All quite ridiculous. That's okay. All right. So I'm going to go here. Copy. Go back here and I'm going to hit paste. There we go. So now we can bring it down so you guys can see me talking here as I'm doing my thing. And if I have to move it over a little bit, or if you find that it's a bit of a distraction, just let me know and I'll move that around as best as I can. So let's go here. All right. We should be okay. Make sure I got that happening. Let's here. Here. Okay, we don't worry about that. Webcam, there we go. Let's move that a little bit small. Okay, good. So you guys should be able to see. Hello, Portsmouth Aeroship Building. I am a great admirer of your work. I don't know if you're based in South Carolina or North Carolina. You have a unique art style. I love how you utilize 3D objects with your work. Yes, I stalk your page, man. What do you think? All right. Somebody's looking. Hey, bro, what's up? Good to see you, man. I love your work because it has this kind of, it's not ethereal. It has a unique mechanized tech that a lot of people don't give. Of course, you're welcome. Can you please post your links in here so maybe I can share it on YouTube or other stuff as well? Um, anyway, so as I was saying, a unique textile that makes the work that you do stand out from so much other stuff. For me, I do my tech, but I draw it out. I do use 3D, and I will get back to doing 3D a little bit more in the coming weeks. Just so, and this is a good segue to say this, and again, I'm going to get back to the drawing here in a second. Like, he's starting to talk to me. I use 3ds Max. I've used 3ds Max now for, God, I started on 96, 97. I bought it in 96. I started using it in 97. So I've been using it now for, is that 30 years ago? Is that right? That can't be right. Almost about 28 years, 27, 28 years ago. Long time. I'm not a mathematician, so work with me. But I found it makes sense to, and I don't know, of course, Mouth, if you agree with this. Uh, Build once, use infinitely. Right? Build once, use infinitely. Or, or you draw over and over and over and over again. When you're young and sexy and got nothing but energy, you can pull that off. When you start getting old, you know, that it gets tedious. So and plus I find 3D modeling very relaxing. It's the strangest thing. So what's going to be happening over the coming weeks is I have a PC that I got from Microsoft when they did the Microsoft commercial. I'll make a thing of it. Yep, thumbs up to you, sir. Uh, I will be, um, how should I say? I will be using the Surface Pro, which is it's actually a drawing screen. I don't need to draw on it. What I need to be able to do is use the PC. So I'm going to get a switcher so I can switch back and forth from using my Mac as well as the PC, right? Because I intend to buy the indie variant of 3ds Max, which I've used for many years. Um, you know, it's a weird thing the way AI is affecting everything now. You can import a drawing into some of the software and it'll just generate a completely usable 3D object. But there's still the thing for me is I think that's a very powerful tool that obviously is being used today. Anyone says, oh man, I don't know if they're going to do it. No, you're already using that tool because it allows you to output, to iterate things in 3D, and then you can take that model to either clean it up. As from what I've seen, some of the topology, and for people who might wonder what do you mean by topology, it's the polygonal framework of the geometric model, right? And so what happens is the models can come out relatively clean uh, with some of the 3D generation AI software. But I like the idea to have my stuff be custom. When I say custom, meaning I want the look of my things to look like my stuff. As analog as possible. Right now, of course, there are going to be some digital elements that are inherent in the style in the work that I do because I'm working with digital media. You know, I draw digitally, I paint digitally. I use 3D objects. Perfect. I see Portsmouth is making the copy paste here. So you guys on Instagram should be able to see that. Okay. Now, there we go. Highlight. Hey, Monique. There's Rebel Jones has joined us this evening. I'm sure that kid is a bit in bed now, right? It's a little bit late. It's almost 11 at night, girl. Anyway, this is me being a bit of a bonehead. Just ignore me here. Let's see. We're going to go here to. Yeah, there we go, right there. We're going to post. Find the. Come on. One of these days, guys, I'm going to get this stuff down. Go to settings. Okay. And nope. That is not it. I do not want to create a poll right now. I do want to, one of the things I do want to do is I want to um, share this. And that's sometimes I get, it's so many different settings on this thing here that I'm still trying to figure some of it out. Anyway, so we're going to go here. One comment, which I think is a comment by me, maybe. But what I'll do is I'll just do this. I'll go here to Facebook. There we go. And I'll have to make sure that I shift this down in volume as soon as I get down here. Hang on one second, guys. Work with me here. Work with me. Okay, yep. I'm going to do this here. I'm going to put that in the. There we go. So that's now in the Facebook post as well as the Instagram post. Dude does incredibly interesting work, and I encourage everyone to check it out. Anyway, as I was saying before, why am I sharing my process? It's like I'm gonna eventually get on Whatnot. Now, for those folks who don't know what Whatnot is a live social selling platform. Very powerful platform. Um, Live social selling is a really big deal in um, in China, and it's now been here for a few years. And that was actually part of the conversation that was going on at New York Comic Con. I mean, at San Diego Comic Con, because a lot of people, the industry has changed because, Diamond Distributors around, but, there's all kinds of litigation. It's a mess. People are not able to access their content because Diamond still has all of their product. And that's just part of it. It just goes on all kinds of, it's gotten really, really nasty. But all that to say is then what are publishers, particularly small publishers, which is the majority of publishers, and independent creators to do? How they to survive in this environment? And what I think that means, at least in part, to a very large part, is I'm of the theory that every operator, every content creator, and maybe content creator is the wrong word, every artist, and in fact, any entity, a plumber, an accountant, a cartoonist, a scholar, there's an aspect of your company that is a media company because you can no longer depend. You can't buy, or you can buy commercial space on regular cable TV or regular network TV, but no one's really watching that stuff the way they used to. So now you don't have a million, 2 million viewers, 10 million views. Now you got 200,000, which is still a significant number, but it's not worth the squeeze. Whereas you can now promote on social media for free. So my theory goes like this, at least for me. Not saying it has to apply for anyone else. Where I am at this particular point is my theory is I will post 5 days a week, sometimes six. I said this before, but just clarifying. That means that it will be a combination of daily live streaming, a weekly or probably every 2 weeks vlog. I've been getting mixed information. Some people say I should vlog twice a month. This is just to show, um, my life as I'm doing. Like here, when I'm doing the streaming, I'm really not going out of the studio, right? Like I had a colonoscopy last week, and I had like, oh my God, why would he say that? Because when you get my age, you have to check that so you don't, if you got cancer, you want to be able to check this stuff in advance. So I had that and another kind of an echocardio, some really extremely long name, and I was put under both times, and they didn't really find anything. So it looks like, let me find some wood here. I'm in the clear. And at almost 59 years of age, these things are important for older folks, particularly for older men of color. We seem to collect prostate cancer and all kinds of cancer like that. So I'm not one to be like, man, my act is so together. I take care of all my medical needs. Nah, I went for years and years not taking care of anything. But God bless my wife. She's been on top of me, literally forcing me to do things. And now I try to do it so I don't have to hear her complain to me all the time. But all of this to say is that it has made a difference. And now I feel much healthier than I did in April. And even this week, since I've gotten back from San Diego, I've hit a pretty good weight now. But I want to kind of like push my set point when the weight set point, for those folks who don't know, to where your body gets comfortable being. I want to be able to have that weight drop even more. My ideal weight is between 215 and 225. That 10-pound radius allows me to pretty much eat what I want as long as I keep the walking. So I'm about 10 pounds off of that now. So it's going to require that how would I say, it's going to require that I burn as much as I can. So what that means is for now, I do intermittent fasting. I generally don't eat till 11. Sometime between 10 and 11. Sometimes it'll be a little bit later, but I try not to eat before that. And I'll shut down the shop 6, 7. I will occasionally go to 8, but I try not to go past that. I generally don't never go past. I try never eat too late. Like what it's on the East Coast here. It's 11 o'clock. I think I ate dinner. I think it was 6:30, maybe 7. Ari Melvin was on, so I think it was even before that. So, uh, which was great. So if you take the intermittent fasting and you mix that with the walking, and I did 5 miles today. I'll walk over to Central Park. I'll do 2 laps around the reservoir, and that works great for me. Anyway, enough of this talking. Let's get back to the drawing. Well, if I'm going to talk, you might be better draw. Okay, so here's where I am now. So if you guys can see my layout here, you'll notice I have this story reel here, or these double page spreads. I'll go back here. I'll zoom out here so you guys can see everything that's rocking. All right, so these are the pages here. So I need to it's actually going in reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have 4 pages, but I need to fill in these pages with the new pages. Right? So here we go. We'll go back here to close this off, and I'm going to go back to this stuff here. So these are those pages, right? So we go here, and you notice there's no lettering, right? All right, this is 6, which is actually 6 and 7. Well, 5 and 6 are actually double page spread, which I'll show you guys that. And these elements here go in both of those. So this 6. All right, now we're going to take page 9, page 10, which is cool. I just want to check one thing here. Okay, I think I did all right there. Let me scroll up y'all a little bit more. Right there, this guy. Now, this is the one that's interesting. This is the one that's interesting. So I took this page here, and I think I demonstrated how I created the groundwork for it, right? You guys remember the horse drawing program that I've been working with. In fact, I'll open that file up here. So this is the Photoshop, the Clip Studio file that I've been using. This is the app, and one day I'll hook the app up. It's connected to my iPad up here, and I'll show you guys how I utilize. It's just there's so many amazing tools out there that you can use for reference. It's just really quite incredible. And so I use this horse stuff here to be able to, okay, that's a good pose for the horse. I would use that, right? So if we go here, so you remember how we had the lesson, and I'm sorry if I used the word lesson. I apologize if I don't want you guys to think I'm trying to teach no class or anything like that. I want you to, um, um, yeah, well, that's right, Monique Rebellion Jones or Rebel Jones. Um, it is Whatnot is a live social selling platform. Oh, good. The kids are asleep. Great. I am the leopard. Hello, how you doing? Good to see you. Um, I get a lot of interaction on Instagram. Instagram is seeing me, it's okay. And by the way, my wife wants me to look at the camera. For some reason, I'm looking up because I'm drawing down here, but I'm looking up here for the comment. So I have so many different screens. And in fact, when I get the PC happening, I got to make a decision. Do I use that switcher so I can switch back and forth from an interface and still be able to stream normally? Or do I get another monitor? And right now I have a 32-inch Cintiq screen here. I have my 27-inch secondary monitor that all my interfaces on. I have my laptop. I have my iPad. So I don't know if I have enough room for one more screen, even though the Surface Pro screen is right there. Anyway, enough of that. So we go back here, and what I'm going to do is turn these layers on. So if I remember correctly, I did most of the drawing here. And like I say, you go to places like San Diego thinking, oh yeah, man, I'll be able to do some work when I get there. And I'm like, man, you ain't gonna do no work, man. Go to sleep. Particularly as much traveling as I did. All right, so we got that. Here we go. Ground is there. Yeah, I remember this. And now I'm gonna turn the layer off here. This is the rough layer, the breakdown layer, right? So this is a 3 panel similar to the one where the guys ride the horses, the passage of time. This is a shorter period of time. But the key is what I'm doing is I intend to be really, really aggressive with, like you see here, that's 3 panels. So I'm using a similar motif here. I use this all the time with Maddie's Rockin'. But there's sometimes, as opposed to show the passage, instead of showing the passage of time, like with this particular page, right? Because you can see the color. The sky goes from a kind of a very bright morning to an overhead kind of with the heat on the bottom, and then here it's a sunset. So this character is riding all day, in this particular sequence. So I'm going to do this one thing here. I think what I'm going to do is we're now going to border this off. And one of the ways to border it off now, this is my all the way at the frame here. You guys should be able to see my interface here. You will notice that I have my border here so I know where the image is cut off. And like with the other thing, this is a technique I use all the time. Notice the carriages here with the horse, screen left or panel left. And then here it's more like the middle. And then the carriage stays in place while the horse and walker kind of walk off. And that's cool. Only thing I don't like about this horse, that horse seemed like kind of small in that second frame. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can adjust that. That's all on a separate layer, so it's not that big a thing. And guys, if you have any feedback, please. Yeah, Tim, that horse needs to be a little bigger. Anyway, but I'm pretty cool with the way it looks here. So let's see what we can do. Now, again, there's sometimes why I use AI to assist in the coloring, and there are other times where I can just go in and just blow it out myself, right? So let's go here. This is all of the images I have here, right? And I'm going to take a selection tool. That's a rectangle, and I'm just going to go right here, right? Now, in fact, I'm going to deselect the bottom part of the. So basically, this top panel is what's happening. Now, he's riding. It's a kind of a day area, right? It's early, early enough morning. It's not. It's like a. Uh, it's like a. Let me do a search here. We're gonna go here to, and we're going to do a search. Oh, by the way, one of the things I pulled up here, 5 cheeses. No, not 5 cheeses. Not these guys. Oscar de Garza and Raphael are the 5 meats comics. You might ask, why am I talking about these guys? Both of these brothers here made this particular comic here, and this comic is called the. I do not speak Spanish. From Cochinas to Lucha Libre Ringsides. And one of the things that I engaged in or helped to do with this book here is I did the coloring for a story dealing with luchadores, which are wrestlers. And I'll just show you here very quickly. It's actually at the end here. This is a lot of fun to do with these guys. Oscar drew it. Raphael, um, um, I'm gonna butcher his name here. Whew, man, my eyes. What in the world? That's because I left my glasses again. That nabbity nabbity nabbity. Rolando, excuse me. I said Raphael, excuse me. Rolando Esquivel is the again. Apologies. So both of these guys are comedic wrestlers based out of Austin, Texas. Forgive me, Rolando, forgive me. Um, um, they're both comedic wrestlers. The whole thing, whole get up, costumes, all that type of thing. And Frederick Aldama at Austin, University of Texas, um, asked me to come down and collaborate with them. Now, I'm not a wrestler, but these guys are, and they wanted to do a story that was for this particular book. And I actually ended up doing the coloring for it. So I'll just see. I don't know if you'll be able to see it that clearly, but that's it there. As a matter of fact, let me go to one of the pages here. Let's see here. Yeah, this will be fun. So Oscar's drawings and my coloring on that, and we got that done. That was just a few years ago. So this book, you might ask why I'm showing this book, came in the mail today. So it was pretty cool to get, and maybe I'll show a little bit more as we go on. But this is Oscar's page here, and they do this thing, Five Meets Comics, um, and you can go to Ko-fi.com, I guess, but it's fivemeetscomics.com. Uh, and Five Meets because apparently they were explaining to me how uh, there are five different types of meats for this burger place that they were associated with, or something. I'm getting confused, but it's the strangest thing I've ever seen. But these guys are really dynamic, and they've done multiple books, and it's pretty cool. Anyway, so please check them out. Anyway, this is Oscar here, Oscar the Garza. And that's good. And if I'm looking at Frederick Aldama, it's looking kind of like he's been working out. I think he's been hitting weights. Anyway, Professor Latinx. Um, all right, let's get back to Clip Studio Paint. Now, it's 11:12. If people have to cut out and go on the bed and stuff because they got to go to work, that's fine. Again, I started late tonight, and that's fine as well. Um, because I'm realizing that I love doing this stuff, and what it does is it allows me to stay current. It's an actual productivity tool that allows me to get my work done. So I stream. So if I stream for another 30 minutes or another hour, I'll do it, even if no one is watching. Okay, so we're gonna go. Let's say early morning sky. Whoops, not Kai, sky, man. Okay, watch this. So I use all sorts of techniques, right, when I'm doing my work. So I like this. This is interesting. That is interesting. That is very interesting. But I also like, let's see here. Once I'm a little bit hotter, that's a little bit. That looks interesting. That looks very, very interesting. I kind of like that. But then that takes a little bit later in the story. Oh, that's interesting. Look at that. I like that. Let's see. Let's see. Right there. There we go. See it, guys? You see that? That's what I think I want. Something that's sort of like that. But it's more blown out. So this is where, and I didn't mean to do that there. Let's pop this back. I want to show people how messy my desktop is. Okay, so we're gonna go here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new layer. And let's go to a kind of a blowout like that. Yes, that cyan there in the left-hand corner that I'm going for. And let's say here, this one we're going to make even more blown out. And we're going to take a gradient tool. That's kind of interesting. But I think what it needs is that. That's what it needs. Right? So we're going to go here. Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to, well, let's reselect that. I'm going to create one more layer. And this time, move that to white. I'm going to go to yellow. Very bright yellow. Right, then I'm going to go to white. There we go. So you see what that's happening there? That's kind of giving you a feel of a early morning sun, right? It's bright. It has its interesting elements and layers to it. But I want to switch that to an add glow. You see what happened there? See how it really got blown up? But I'm going to take that down just a little bit. See that? That's pretty good there. Now watch what I'm going to do here. To seal the passage of time in this, one more thing. So we're going to call this sun. And here, I'm going to create a new layer. And I'm just going to add a few atmospheric things. I think we'll go with a darker blue bleed. I don't know if it's going to work, but we will see. There we go. See? Now right now, this is looking kind of kooky, but that's okay. That's all right. All right. Watch what I'm going to do with this. So I'm going to take that. Now I'm going to take the blend tool. Now I could typically just take a regular blend and leave it there, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this cloud brush. I don't know if it's going to, yeah, there we go. See what's happening? See how it's moving that out? Now I need to go back and add a little bit more of this. There we go. Like so. Yeah, I like that. See what's happening here? Now watch this. So I've got this feel going on. But what I'm going to do here, and this is going to be a little weird, so work with me. Work with, not against. I'm going to take this. I'm going to group these three guys together. Watch this, guys. I'm going to go here. I'm going to drag it right into that folder. Right, and that's panel 1 there. See? Now watch this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to take, this is the kind of atmospheric clouds at the bottom of the land. So let's zoom into this. Let me move this over here so you guys can get a better, more dramatic view. See what's happening? All right, now watch this. What I want to do here, the sun I'm going to leave where it is, but I'm going to take this kind of atmospheric cloud and I'm going to stretch it just like that. See what's happening? Now watch what happens now. Next, I'm going to duplicate this by drag and drop it right up there. So now this is panel 2. I'm going to move that down. Watch this. Okay? So we got that. So now what we're seeing here is that sky is duplicated for panel 2. But because the panel is not exactly the same size, I have the ability to do this. Command T. Whoops. We'll do it again. Command T. There we go. Now I drag that up however I want. See? And in this particular case, what I'm doing is utilizing color uh, uh, to to not just show the passage of time, but I'm using color and positioning of objects. So, for example, this is the sun. Call that sun copy. We'll go here to this one. This is a little weird, but watch this. Okay. Now I'm going to take my blend tool here because I can. I'm going to go right here. So you see what's happening? See how that sun is expanding there a little bit? And what's happening here, this is approaching noontime, right? Starting to approach noontime. So what's happening is the sun should be doing this. So for panel 1, the sun is going to be, say, right here. They're right about there. Good. And then I can take an airbrush here. There we go. I'll take an airbrush here. There we go. All right, I like that. Okay, so there we go there. Now, so again, panel 1 is this. Panel 2 is that. See what's happening? And then panel 3 will be this. We're going to drag and move that over to that swatch that duplicates that file again. So all I have to do is grab my move tool, hold down shift and drag, and there we go. So now that's in place, right? But here's what I want to do. You'll notice the first panel, the sun is to the screen left. Here, it's in the middle. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take that sun. I'm going to move that sun. Whoops. Sorry about that. Wait, what did I do there? Made a mistake. Oh, I definitely made a mistake. What did I do? All right, let's undo that. Undo. Undo. Let's see. What have I done? Not a problem. Okay, so that's that. So we're going to duplicate this again. There we go. Right there. We're going to move this down to this panel. There we go. Right there. Okay, great. Liking it. Liking what I've done. Right. Now I'm going to take the sun here in this panel. There it is. And I want to move that up, like right there. So you see how the sun is moving higher and more broadly from one panel to the next. That's how you can show the passage of time. But here I think what I've got to do is I've got to that's actually not bad. I'm kind of liking that. I'm kind of liking that a lot. Yes, I am. You know what? Maybe this is sufficient for what I need. Anyway, let me take a quick break here and check on Facebook, just in case anybody has lost their minds and decide, those are the same 2 comments I had before. So we're gonna go here, and that's something I suddenly realized. I never actually shared this to, uh, I never actually shared this to timfielder.com. So let me, wow. Okay, no worries. We're gonna go here. I just wish that I could more efficiently share to everything. And maybe what that means, now I'm sitting here thinking about it, is maybe what that means is I just simply need to, I need to just start streaming to both Facebook pages at the same time. I don't know if it's possible, but you know, we'll see. But that's what I'm thinking. All right, don't worry about that. Okay, everything here appears to be rocking. Okay, all right. I think I can live with that. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. All righty. Okay, good. So we're moving here. Grimib, Jeremib. I don't know who that is, but how you doing? Pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. All right, now live streaming. Okay, no one's chatting on the Dieselfunk Dispatch YouTube channel. The um, streaming setup for um, for Diesel Funk is just so weird. It's always confusing as to whether or not people are looking on that page, and they should be able to see it. 5 views. Oh, okay. All right, there we go. So that's nice to know. Also, for you guys who are curious as to how my analytics are doing, you know, it's much better interface on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube. Not a lot of interaction, but some is starting to pick up a little bit. And when I say pick up a little bit, you know, we're talking about 30 views, which I know is terrible. But for me, it means that 30 people were interested in my stuff for a second. I don't even know if they looked at it all the way through, but it's something that is working for me, and I enjoy the fact that that is a thing that I can, at least participate in and feel like that's okay. All right, let's see here. We're gonna go here, move to switch account to Diesel Funk. There we go. All righty, and we're gonna go to. Hang on 1 second, guys. I'm gonna go to my home thing here. Oh no, can't do that. We're gonna go to view your channel. There we go. I'm gonna have to turn the volume down on this, I'm sure. Okay, I don't know why that's up there. Let's go to live. There we go. Alright, it keeps coming up with the same thumbnail. That is distressing. That is distressing. Okay, but anyway, we got our top chat available here. We'll figure it out one day. Okay. Anyway, so let's get back to this. Sorry about this, guys. Technically, I gotta work a lot of stuff out. That's because I probably didn't make each thumbnail unique, but hey, it'll be okay. All right, back to Clip Studio. So we got this. This is good. I kind of like the blowout a little bit of there. But let me try something. Just here. Let's gonna go here. And I just want to hit blur. That with a little bit of blur. I'm gonna hit the sun here. This is for the bottom frame. Filter. Hit that with a slight amount of Gaussian blur. Ah, there we go. I like that. That's nice. It has that sun. It's there, but it has a little bit of thing, a little bit of bloom to it. Let me turn my volume down to hear that coming in from YouTube. Okay, great. All right, oops. Let's go back. There we go. All right. Now we are back here. All right, so we got panel 1 done. We're going to go to sun here. Now we're going to hit this with a little blur. So again, I use all of the tools, as many tools as I can to make my process more efficient. But there's sometimes, just go in and you just do straight digital illustration. So in this case here, just hit it with a blur filter, and that's sufficient. So we're gonna go here. Let's see here what we want to do here. Is we want to let's see here. We want to get that with a blur as well. There we go. Blur, blur. All right, great. So I feel good about that. I think we're good. All right, now here's where the next trick comes in. So we have all of these frames, things like that. I think we might be okay with this. We just go back here to Instagram. All right, now I'm gonna go here. So now what I want to do is I want to create the border work around this. So, but here's the way we do this to make things have a kind of a paper texture. So I'm going to go here to this, and I'm going to take a textured pen. See? So it makes it look like a little, rough paper. Okay? And we're going to do it on the top part here. There we go. And then we're going to do it on the bottom part. Just a smidgen. Just a smidgen, man. Just a smidgen. Smidgen. And I'll explain to you why I'm doing it like this. Right? And you will notice that the top panel is thinner than the second and third panel, the middle and bottom panel. And the reason why that is because I have to put this in there. I'll show you here in just a moment. Right? It still has to be borders here. And the borders here that I'm drawing are hand-drawn borders because we want to look like, an artist in the field drew the story. And when I put these borders in, it kind of like turns everything back into being somewhat in proportion to each other. Are you guys see what I'm doing here? And it keeps everything from having straight lines. All right, so I'm good with that. And I don't mind the imperfections in it. That's fine. All right, let's just take one quick look. See that? So now we want the white kind of thin line thingy. Thin line thingy happening. We go here. There we go. Whoops, that should be bigger. Let's do that. There we go. Boop. There we go. I'll go here. Thin line. There we go. I'll do it here again. Thin line. Now go over here. There we go. Another one here. There we go. Then another one here. Fantastic. Now we're going to go on the top. We're going to go on the bottom here. Oops. Take it easy, buddy. Now, although thus far all of the panels have kind of like had a sort of hand-drawn border, I reserve the right to change the color if I want to after a point. Right? Like I might decide I want it to be black. If that holds up, great. But I love this particular part of it because what it does is it makes everything appear to be handmade, because effectively it is handmade. There we go. All right, great. So we can call this page here done. Yeah, I like that. That's kind of cool. That is kind of cool, man. All right, so we're gonna go here. Oh, nope, I did not mean to do that. We go here. We're going to create a folder. All of those frames here. Yep. This be it, man. I'm going to go right here. So I selected all of those layers and I'm going to drag those into this folder here. And that folder will become probably this is page 10, page 11, which I'm probably not going to keep, but page 12. But it also might be, we'll figure it out. So I'm going to call here, page 12. Okay, great. Now I know things will be a little weird here, but just bear with me one moment. So we have this, that, this, and then we have one more page here. Well, we got this page here, but I'll work on that at another time. I have this page here where it's kind of a silhouette here. Again, this is what's happening here, and I'll be able to show how I'm going to color this, but I want to kind of like work on the background a little bit later for that, because each background has to be a little bit different. Let's see. Boom. Okay, the town charter page. We're waiting for that a little bit later. All right, let me just check one thing here. Okay. All right, that is not quite the page. Okay. Let's see. Oh, nope, that's not it. That's not it. There it is. That page there is cool. All right, here. Lots and lots of reference has been produced for this particular book so far. Let me just check one thing here. Actually, should be able to check. Oh boy, that is pretty crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Go here. When you have multiple data setups here, it's like, oh man. So I think I'm gonna leave that alone for now. But all right. So the thing I got to decide now, because what's happening here is actually 2 pages of the horse on to the right and the back of the horse to the left, and so this actually extends over a 2-page sequence. All right, we got that. Let me go back here to my right here. Yeah. So we're good there. So what we need to do here is the next page here is where is this one. This is the next page here. Let's go to we can go here, Command C. Then we're going to go to our breakdowns. Right? Double click on that. Let's zoom in here now. I set it up so that when Clip Studio Paint makes its breakdowns, I mean, I'm not an expert at this type of stuff, but I set it up for where it's a double page spread. All right, so we're gonna go here. I think since we know we're going in reverse, go right there. See? See what's happening, man? See what's happening, dude? Yeah. All right, let me go here. There we go. Take our move tool here. So all we know we need to do is kind of position everything in this particular box here. T, it's going to be a little weird, and we will eliminate certain elements. We're not looking for perfection. We're damn sure not looking for perfection. We're looking hopefully for something that people interpret as having heart. And that is what we're doing here. Okay, so that looks pretty good there. That looks pretty good. Now, from looking at this, however, I'm also noticing that there is, if you look here, See the kind of grain that's happening there? That's an effect that was added in post. And maybe I need to add some of that on there. And that will be, in fact, I'm looking at the sky, has this kind of yellow tint to it. And I need to add that in there. That's something that I'm catching now that I'm recognizing that maybe I need to do something with that. All right, let's see here. We go back to this page. Here we go. That's not bad. It's not so bad. We just need to do a color correction for it that kind of fits it. All right, now what I'm going to do here. All right, that's it there. All right, let's go here to this panel. Let's just see what happens. Which panel is that? There we go. I'm going to hit Command T. And maybe what I want to do, let's go to Command U. Command U brings up the hue and saturation. What I want to do is desaturate that. See what happened? See how that fits there a little bit? It desaturates. That's okay. I can live with that. Right? So I know that one works. And I'm okay, actually, in fact, if the color is a little bit off, because it still just gives a slight element of change and difference. Because the sun is right. The sun is rising higher in the sky. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like it. I like it a lot. We go here and do the same thing. Command U, and we will desaturate the top part of the sky. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Now, here's the next thing I'm going to do. This is where it's going to be a little weird, but I'm going to take it on this bottom layer here. And what I want to do here is I want to take a little bit of the yellow sky, light yellow, like seriously light yellow sky. I don't know if it's going to work. And I'm going to take a pastel effect. I'm going to zoom in here. And we're going to see what happens. And for this one, I can actually sort of, there we go. See what's happening? Like it. See what's happening? Like it. Like it. That's good. Yes. And I don't mind the imperfections in it. Because it's supposed to look like it's drawn by a person who's using pastels. So that's good. I like that. I like that a lot. Hello, Skia. How you doing? All right. Someone's responding to me. Okay, this is my brother, so we need some more stuff here. So that's good. All right. So it's 11:42. Just because I don't want to totally mess up my day and mess up the day for you guys. Hi. Now, I wonder who is Skia? Who is Skia? Who is Skia? Hey, how you doing? Who is that? Who you doing? See, every time I want to click on something, it's doggone it. Who is Skia? Do I know you? I'm sure maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know. I get a certain level. Oh, Steve McFadden. Oh, is that George? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, Steve McFadden is a fantastic filmmaker, videographer, and has been absolutely very supportive of me and my wife in our work. Fantastic documentarian and an all-around cool dude. So good to see you, Steve. Anyway, so there we go. So I think we might have something rocking and rolling here, but there we go. I like that panel. That's see what's happening here. I don't think I can do this here, but that's one of the cool things about Clip Studio Paint is that it gives you the ability to be able to create a 3D book. It's so absolutely insane what this software can do. But let me see if I can get that tool to work. It's so crazy how it comes together. Let's see here. I'll go we'll go back to this here. Let me just save this. Save. Okay, so now we'll go here. Yeah, because I don't have a ton of pages in this. I have to add more pages in it as I go along. But let's take this. Now what we're going to see here is exporting PNG, exporting JPEG. We don't want to do that just yet. But what we do want to do, come on, where's the 3D? Where you can actually output this as a book that you can rotate in the frame. I don't know why I'm forgetting that now. Getting rid of it. And if anyone knows, hey, feel free to like, yo, Tim, you gotta go here, go there. Please. Let me know, man. Let me know. Binding process. No. Wait a minute, hang on. This might be it. No. Webtoon is interesting. I was trying. One of my good friends was going to introduce me to some of the folks at Webtoons, and I do have to follow up probably by tomorrow. Just to, it's not. I'm not saying I wouldn't do um, Webtoons, but it is something that Webtoons is a much more viable platform in certain ways than say traditional floppy comics for sure at this point. All right, let's see here. Batch process, special export. Nope, nope. Ah, here we go. All right, here we go. Let's take this out. 3D preview for binding. Here we go. Watch this, guys. This is crazy feature that Clip Studio Paint has. And what it does is it puts things in a context. Look at this. Now here, of course, I'm looking at everything in reverse. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Isn't it? Look at that. And also it can rotate in 3D. Isn't that crazy? That's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a software program. It allows you to feel what your project is going to be like. I mean, how many people? I mean, I don't know who's looking there. I'm not, going to sleep by this point. But I mean, look at how amazing. Hey, Erica, what's happening? Fabulous. It is witchcraft. It does. The first I discovered it several years ago. Sister knows it all. Oh, it's Sherry. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Hey, tell George I say hey. I saw him at the Schomburg when everyone was getting rained down. Erica Hardison, the rainmaker, who basically emotionally guided me into getting my book, Maddie's Rocket, endorsed by Steph Curry. In part owe her my career. Several people I owe my career. But Erica was an important part of the Fabulous magazine and crazy Facebook group they have. Oh my God, girl, there's so much drama on this. Oh my God, young people, how do y'all do it? Anyway, but yes, let me go back here. It's like, yo, man, stop talking and show the thing here again. Okay, so here's the cool thing is, so I can actually, and this is what I would encourage other people to do when you're doing breakdowns, right? So you want to go here once you put it in the story module. You want to come down to story. Oh, my eyes, my poor eyes. Doggone it. I just had it, man. Here it is. Special export? No. No. Yes. Yes. Under export multiple pages, you want to do 3D preview for binding. So if you are drawing stuff out, this gives you a feeling of what your book is going to be like. Now, right now, it's thin. This book is going to end up being 120, 130 pages. Right? So watch this. You see what I'm saying? So I can feel how the story fits. Now, one of the things that will happen with this book is that the pages will be smaller on the pages. It'll be smaller. But here I can feel the 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 flow of the story. That is the most important thing. See, right? And we still have to do some things here, but I'm kind of liking that. I'm kind of liking it, man. I'm liking it a lot, right? And so there we go. Look there. See, very nice way for you to both technically and aesthetically keep the narrative beats in your story together, not solely through the script, but through the layout and sequence of your book, right? So it's very cool, very cool thing. Watch this. So we're gonna go here, and now that I'm here, I might as well just do this so we can, because we I'm gonna go for about another 10 minutes. Um, so we go here, and this is going in reverse. I don't know why it's that way. I there's probably, oh, I'm glad. Thank you, Ebony. Um, so I guess I should ask while I'm doing this. It's like, yo, man, stop talking and just get back to work. But I have to ask: is it helpful seeing it? Right? Is it helpful seeing the work, and does it allow you to feel more invested in the story? That's what I'm curious about, because my theory goes, as I was stating to the Portsmouth, uh, is that the idea is that if you have a comic, and this is what I encourage anyone, whether you do t-shirt design, film, written stuff, in theory, like what is it, Kyle Baker, who I ran into at San Diego Comic Con last week, um, has been using Whatnot for several pages. That's the live social selling. And what he's doing is he's doing the drawings on the screen. He's selling those drawings, which is great. It's great. It's something I probably should do. But my thing is, I'm interested in the entirety of social media, whether it be, and let's be frank, it's not, you can call it social media, but it's really just media at this point. Yes, you can, Portsmouth. You should use it, but my theory goes, don't. It's like the problem. Oh no, don't say that. You say you're the wrong person. No. I'm making the book. You're a scholar. This book is a historical document based on a person who was actually alive. You're absolutely the target audience for this. At least one of the components, right? It's a black character, man by the name of Prince Rivers, obscure civil rights figure, but he was contemporary of Martin Delany and Harriet Tubman, and then Frederick Douglass. So I completely disagree with what you're saying. Anyway, back to what we're saying. So the theory goes is, instead of producing something that you're going to sell immediately, what you're doing is you are broadcasting, or hello, Books and Bounty, how you guys doing? What you're doing is you're broadcasting. At least this is my theory. You're broadcasting your continual advancement of the work, so that you do three things. One, you're showing progress. Very important. Hey, how's it going, guys? Books and Bounty. Uh, Two, by showing that progress, you're building accountability to your audience, to the reader, because you guys are effectively readers, right? You're seeing me put this thing together, right? It's no different than YouTube channels where people buy a house and they build a house and people watch that show or shows. Exactly. This is how we take control of our history in this weird political environment. Well, I have a theory about that as well. All that is a TV show. Think about it. Why would you send out mass ICE agents on camera to do that? It's a TV show. So everything is effectively a TV show. When we have already begun the process of having control. But these tools, this is what I was telling Ronaldo Anderson, tech doesn't care. Tech can be used in any kind of way you like. And I believe that, again, the production, it builds up that content, accountability. Three, it allows its promotion. You guys see what I'm doing. All y'all need me to do is to stay alive, stop eating all that bad food, keep doing my walks, right? And show you, it's like you might want the book because you will see me working. This guy put months into this, right? We saw him when it was nothing. And now here it is, and we saw the pages come together. Yeah, we want to buy that book. Even if you're getting a preview of it. So my theory is this is applicable not just to visual artists, but to writers. You don't have to show everything. I'm not going to show everything. There sometimes when I'm not on camera, I'm showing pages. You'll get a glimpse of it, that kind of thing. But we don't live in a world, what's it Denzel Washington says, where don't show your stuff on social media. I mean, I agree. There's some truth to that. You don't want to show your innermost personal thoughts, particularly one where you might be committing crime. Don't do that. but we exist in a world where everything is a media company. So you are competing with this. And the traditional publishers, yeah, they have access to their regular, standard, mainstream publicity venues. But that stuff is not as effective as it once was. You know what I'm saying? And most publishers, if they have 10 books, they're going to back 2 books. And those 2 books will be successful enough to pay for the other 8 books, right? And even though it's not always said, if a book comes out and a book doesn't sell that well, what do? Do they lose money? Of course not. They write it off on the taxes. It's the strangest thing. It's almost like it's a fascinating way to operate a business or an industry. But the book industry is what, 29 billion dollars. Yeah. Anyway, all that to say is that is I enjoy doing the work. I have gotten more enjoyment out of this process lately than I have in some time. And I think, even with the horse thing here, I'm going to go back and shift some stuff around. So there we go. So um, I wanted you guys to see that. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, uh, I'm going to get ready to shut down here in a moment, but I will say this one thing. I thank you guys for coming here tonight to look at me do this stuff. Uh, when you approaching 60, you no longer have much land. What is it? What is it? Landing strip left in middle age, meaning that in about 4 years, well, in 2 years, I'll be able to apply for Social Security. And hey, we don't even know if Social Security is going to be around 2 years from now, so I might need to get in on the game pretty early, right? But even though I'm kind of halfway joking on it, only halfway. The thing that I do realize that's important is that um, I want to enjoy doing the work. I'm enjoying doing the work. I'm enjoying showcasing how I'm operating. I'm enjoying that process, and I hope that you guys are getting that from the work that I'm doing. I really hope that you are. I see ET3 real ethereal. Okay, you know, I experienced brain fog. Ethereal, I've seen you before. Who is ethereal? Oh, yes, Runway. It's great. Now, Runway Elite, for those guys who don't know, let me just show you here. I'll go to, this will be great. And although I'm drawing, and I think I've drawn enough for that. I finished one page, and I have a few thoughts about that that'll be curious to hear this. So here's the leaf stuff, right? So runway is I produced some stuff here. All right, so this is a leaf, right? And you guys have seen me do stuff here. This is from Maddie's Rocket. I mean, you guys should have seen that. It was a little bit off, but it was a little quirky, but it gave me something that was pretty ridiculous. But the thing I found fascinating about a leaf is the new model that's come out. And I got 45 credits left, and I can't do anything on it right now. But I will go here to YouTube, and I want you guys to see what a leaf is able to do. A leaf or a left, whatever it is. Let's go here to runway. There it is. So check this out. This is pretty. And for those folks who are not keeping tag on this stuff, look at this stuff here. Let's go here. So this is the video. They just ask to change and it does it. Look at this. That's ridiculous. This is not even the best example. This is just kind of like, just kind of threw that together. But look at this stuff, man. That means operators who utilize software like After Effects and Nuke, you know, this is crazy. Yes, a lot of people are gonna lose work. You know, yeah. There you go. Look at this stuff here. Look at this stuff. I'll just let it play here. Showing different angles of one image. Now, what does that do for someone like me? I don't want the software to generate the image for me. I want the software to help me finish the image I'm already doing. Right? I have zero interest in the software creating the drawing for me. What I wanted to do is to help augment my already existing process. But look at the visual effects in this. You're just swapping stuff out. I don't care what anyone says. We are not. Look, well, let's go back to that. Look at this. See the woman walking? She's walking on green screen. That's crazy. And so what that means? See this? See this? See this section here? Look at this. So I'm a 2D animation guy. I'm a 2D, 3D guy, right? I use 2D character. Maddie's Rocket is a 2D character composited on top of a painted background, which is oftentimes 3D objects that are rendered out, right? And I will begin to show as I get my PC working and hooked up so I can stream. Because again, for you guys, I want to be able to stream my work that I'm using on the Mac as well as the PC at the same time. So I can just switch screens. I think it'll be helpful for the people to see. I use everything. I draw traditionally on the screen with a pen on the Cintiq here. I use 3D models that I custom build myself. I was always a mediocre character animator, but I was a pretty good modeler. Concept design, of course, I know I'm very, very good at that. But I could always build what I saw in my head. But I want you guys to see how I utilize Unreal Engine. You might say, well, what's Unreal? So most of the video games that you see played, particularly the 3D video games, Call of Duty and stuff like that, are done. Oh yeah, Portsmouth, yes, 60. Hey man, there you go. Adobe Firefly is something I'm going to start using a little bit more of since I utilize the Adobe Suite. And of course, I'm always constantly bouncing back and forth between Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint. In fact, I need to go update my settings because I'm part of the Adobe educational community, and I need to, more effectively show that okay, this is what I'm doing, so that people can see in the Adobe community there's this, and I think I'm providing a service to Adobe as well as the Clip Studio folks by showing how the software is used. Um, um, so, and that's what that is. But all that to say is that this style here, this is what I do. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily looking for my stuff to be photo real. Although, with if I, I'm gonna obviously do Infinitum as a film. It doesn't make sense. I can't even sit here and think of a reason to take Infinitum to a traditional movie studio. You know what I mean? There was a point where Amazon wanted Infinitum, and we could have sold it, but for whatever reason, we didn't. But now it's like I can just you know do what I want to do and make the movie. Make the movie that I was trying to paint in Infinitum. I could just do it. And there's so many other projects that I've worked on over the years that were all done in various states of completion, but I couldn't really pull it all off because the animation was too difficult to do. But now it is there. I mean, look at this stuff. Let's go here and see if we have any more samples here. And also for you guys who are chiming in, just know that I will be showcasing not just my graphic novel progress, but I will be showcasing my film progress. I intend to start on I'm still torn whether or not it will be a film or a series, an animated series. It will be an animated film or an animated series. And what's animated? You look at this stuff, it's certainly not traditional animation. But I know I can draw all my keyframes, or the basic keyframes. But yeah, that's just where we are now. That is where we are. You can swap characters. Look at this. The woman sitting in the car, right? Swap this person. It's crazy. And these are all things that got released in the last week. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing I'm also curious. So if it could turn any image into videos, can a leaf take the pages from Infinitum and turn them into motion? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm curious about. Because if I do that, then that means that Infinitum, Maddie's Rock is a little bit easier because I can kind of, and I'll go into the work that I've done with Maddie's Rocket in time. But anyway, it's this guy, we got to start talking so much lately, over the last few hours and minutes here. But look at this stuff. Isn't that crazy? Man. And you have one thing, the still image, they turn into animation, then you can render out 4 or 5 different views. Yep. Oh, and of course, one of the problems I have here is my stuff keeps using the same doggone thumbnail because I don't change the thumbnail. So I have to update all my thumbnails. It's all good. So that, even though people are watching it live, they will want to, they'll be able to, uh, they'll have some context. All right, with that, you guys are so super duper awesome. I want to thank, I get such a rise and a ride out of this thing here when we do our thing here. And I know that, so much of what we do there's a trick to it for sure. And it's something, whoops, I don't know why that didn't show up here. Let's go to, nope. Let's go to there. And I guess we'll play a little music here as we close this out. Let's go. Glad to catch you. I will be looking at the progress. What's up with Du Bois the Comet? I worked on it last week on the streaming channel. I will be working on it more than likely tomorrow. More breakdowns. Lots and lots of breakdowns. I got delayed on the comic due to the health issues that I experienced, setback. But don't worry. We're going to be where we need to be. So hang with us, hang with me, please, please, and let's make it happen. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful late night. Oh, I'm kind of liking this echo. This is dope. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Instagram. Thank you, everyone. Please hit like and subscribe. I need everybody who's on Instagram right now who will put up with me. Can you please go to YouTube and subscribe to Dieselfunk as well as Dieselfunk Dispatch so I can get my numbers up. Oh, Twitch. I just became monetized, or they gave me access to some monetized weird things. So crazy. Facebook, I love you. Thank you guys so much for putting up with me. My crazy, crazy ideas. I love doing this work. I hope that you find inspiration for what I'm doing and that you're able to apply it to your own thing. Again, I'll be doing this 5 days weekly unless something comes up. I don't like to start so late at night. I try to start between 7 and 9, but tonight was a little bit later than usual. But it's okay. I still intend to do it 5 days a week, occasionally 6. I am working on my every other week vlog, but who knows? I might even do something a little bit more than that. Anyway, you guys are great. Have a wonderfully beautiful evening and a very productive day tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.